accidentally shared, we are now recording ourselves for our own purposes in future. Like I've already mentioned, it is in your interest to attend the live sessions so you can interact, so you can ask your questions, so you can hear directly from the lecturer. We'll engage like we would have done in any in-person lecture. Okay, so don't be overly reliant on a recorded session. If we wanted it to be solely recorded, then we would have recorded all the lectures. We have links for recorded lectures on the topics. But students want to ask questions and lecturers want to engage directly to them as the lecture is ongoing. That's why we conduct a live session. Okay, so we want to make sure, that's why we gave you the times and we said, look at your calendar, your schedules, and then pick a time that fits you so that you can be there in person, live like this, and then engage. Okay, all right. So I'll take Clement's question. Clement, go ahead with your question. Unmute first. Everybody will be muted. So go ahead. Yeah, I can hear you say. Go ahead.
Yeah, please. Like, don't be offended by it. Like, Saturday when we met, we looked at the interrogative, imperative.
Clement, can you ask your question, please? Okay, ask the question. What you are going to say should be interrogative.
Okay. Okay, madam, I want to ask.
I can't hear.
Hello.
Clement, unmute yourself and go ahead. Please keep yourselves muted so that we can hear the one speaking. That's how you conduct yourself online. I don't want to say a lot of that in our recorded sessions, okay? So you will keep yourself muted, because if I want to keep everyone muted, I can do that up here, but I'm taking questions from you. So you should be able to mute and unmute yourself so that you can ask your questions and get a response. Otherwise, it will be a monologue. I'll just mute everyone. You won't be able to unmute your mic. Then I come and talk for 1 hour, 2 hours and get up and go. That will not help you. So everybody comport yourselves like I said before I started the recording. Okay, keep your microphone muted. If you don't know how that happens, don't touch your screen. Because when you touch it, you may go and select something, unintended. Okay. So right now I'm just taking, what's the name of the person speaking? It's Clement. Clement, go ahead. Clement, just ask a question on the unit 1, if you have it. Ask, don't give me plenty talk. Okay, just ask the question. I'll address it. Go ahead.
Yes, I want to ask if the imperative gives the information and the declarative command gives the command.
What did you see in the slide?
The slide,
you want to know if imperative gives information. Yeah. Did the slide say that?
Imperative command.
Did the slide say that? Did the slide say that? Answer my question here. Did the slide say that imperatives give information?
No.
So why are you asking?
Yeah, like I'm contemplating because I heard it from the class.
What did the slide say that imperatives do?
It commands or wants you to perform an action.
Perfect. That's the correct answer. Are you answered now?
Yes, please.
All right. Is there any other question? Please, I saw 3 other hands. Let me take all. Are you all sorted? The hands have shut down now. If you are okay, then we move on. So on my screen now, you would see what you saw, what I projected last Saturday, okay? A working definition for critical thinking, okay? The key things you shouldn't miss: analysis and evaluation are skills that we develop in a critical mind. The critical thinker also asks questions. He has an inquiring mind, and questions are aimed at responding to practical problems of existence. That's what our focus is when we are asking all those questions as critical thinkers. It's a skill we develop in people. Okay, then we said that the critical thinker is able to deal with logical truths as well as empirical truth. He can decipher, he can determine whether a certain claim being made can be ascertained logically by the language of it or empirically. Okay, the critical mind is able to. So the examples on a bachelor has beaten his wife, etc., that we engaged were meant to show that sometimes certain claims bear truth that you can know logically by the language of it. You don't even need to go on. Oh dear. You don't need to observe. You will know But I'll reshare what I was sharing. It just went off. It will come back. Okay. So I'm saying that logical truth versus empirical truth are ways of establishing the truth or falsity of a statement that you wouldn't struggle with if you were a critical mind. Okay, we learn that as well. So sometimes what the person is telling you is that those of you keep on mute, you are the one obstructing me because I'm trying to mute or I'm going in between slides. So when I move from one slide to come and mute you, all of you, then I move back to the one that I'm projecting. That can be very obstructive. Don't touch your screen. Or if you think your background is noisy, then you should keep yourself muted throughout. Okay, that's how you handle yourself online. Don't embarrass us. This is University of Ghana. Don't spoil our brand. Okay, all right. So I'm resharing what I had on the screen, and I hope that you can help me remain focused to help you. I was on the slide that tells you. Okay, here am I. I'm trying to explain to you that if you are doing critical thinking, allow the course to go through you. You are not just passing through the course, but the course also goes through you. Then by the time you finish, you should be able to distinguish a logical truth from an empirical truth. And I was trying to explain what I mean by logical truth. Logical truth just means the truth or falsity of that statement is independent of observation. Even if you haven't gone to look at it, to hear, to touch, taste, or smell, you will be able to tell the truth status of that expression, that statement. You can tell whether it is true or false just by looking at the language of it. So some examples are on our screen now, and they should help you. Okay, I want someone to read what you see on the screen. Oh dear, what is happening? Anybody wants to read, just raise your hand and I'll call you to read. Okay. Okay. Who wants to read? Just raise your hand. Okay, I see. Well, Erica Gelly, I think. Erica, read for me.
Okay, easy reads. The course will equip you with concepts and methods, tools, principles, and techniques for establishing and distinguishing logical truths, linguistic certainties from empirical truths, observation-based agencies.
Very good. So that is what so certain truths are empirical in nature and others are logical. So, Madam, please, if you could read the first example. I'm just doing this to help you mop up. Then we launch straight into our topic 2. These are all part of the things we did last Saturday. Go ahead, please. And let you go ahead, please. Or maybe we should take someone. So let's take Favor. Favor, better. Go ahead.
Please, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hello?
Go ahead. Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Wait at the law court. Jail that bachelor because with my own eye, I saw him beat his wife mercilessly. I have video evidence.
Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so on the dot, there she and so on. Okay, so this is Madam Favor witnessing at the court, and we saw why this is problematic. We don't need to go and observe. We don't need further videos, etc. By the language of it, by the logic of it, we are able to tell that this statement cannot be true. Because if the person has, if the person is, somebody is distracting me. And Nathaniel, you are the one I've been looking for. Nathaniel Akolgo. You see how I fixed you out? You can be sacked out of the course for this semester or even for next year until you comport yourself. Please keep your microphone muted so that we can impart knowledge and you can hear me. Let's not treat ourselves like we are not mature. This is university, okay? Maybe it was an oversight, so I want to permit it. But you see how I fished you out? I can pull you out like that. So please keep your attention muted. Madam Favor says that the first example she read is an instance of what? A logical truth. Logical truth just means by the language of it, you're able to tell whether the statement is true or false. Logical truth doesn't mean that it is true. It just means that the statement has the its truth or falsity is language based. I don't want to sound all technical. That's why I'm struggling to find easy words to use. So the expression on your screen, example 1, is a logical truth. You can label it as a truth that is based on the logic of the statement, which means you don't need to go to the place. By the language itself, you can tell that this one is already false. Because if he's a bachelor, then he couldn't have beaten his wife and stuff like that. Okay? But if I told you that, let me find out example 7, the traffic was intense yesterday and the day before on that stretch. So I'm not going by that route today because it will certainly be the same today. This one is someone's when they are making. He's telling that that place, the traffic was so bad yesterday. The day before it was so bad. So today too, I suspect it will be that bad. This one you need to observe to tell. So you have to pass by that stretch again to see that you see, I told you that it will be that intense. The traffic will be that intense on this stretch today too. It's not something that you can use the language, the logic of it to ascertain truth. That's the example 7. So that one is an empirical truth. Okay. So if we were asked, write an example or write 2 examples that show the difference between a logical truth and an empirical truth, you should be able to creatively write one down. Okay. One, it depends on the language of it. So you don't need to observe to establish truth. That is the logical one. Whereas the empirical one, you would need observation. Your 5 senses have to work. You either called someone to hear it, you saw it yourself, you typed it, it was hot, and so you are able to. If I say the table is smooth, for example, or stuff like that, then you need observation. It is raining at La right now as we speak. That is a verifiable state, factual statement. We will get there in a minute. Or if you like, you will call it what, an empirical truth. Then we go to critical thinking. On your screen now, you saw that it is topic neutral. You know what we mean when we say it is topic neutral. I'll go on with that. Then we move on. We move on to from topic neutral. We can move on to the next topic. The next thing we can look at on our screen. Please keep focused. And why we should be critical thinkers. We want to avoid gullibility. We want to be effective communicators. We want to be invaluable problem solvers. So if all those are important to us, then critical thinking is the way to. Okay. Now we can move on. Can I have one of you read? Please raise your hand. I'll call you to read. If you have a good background, okay? If your background is not too good, don't raise your hand. Okay, so I still see Evans Ohene. Evans, go ahead. After I can take Rita, Nana, Idriafua.
Okay,
so go ahead.
Critical thinking skills. Open-mindedness. The second one is inquiring mind, question asking. The third one is analytic skills. The fourth one is evaluative skills. And the last one is communicative skills.
Well done, sir. So we understand all of those, we discussed them. That is what has been expanded, or if you like, over-elaborated in the next slide. So we moved on to sentences that shape our thought. We said our thoughts are always captured into sentences. So we try to say what we mean and mean what we say. So we are going to subject our thoughts to scrutiny. So thought as object of scrutiny. Our thought is what we are going to put down and elaborate on and evaluate and expand our thoughts. How will we do that? We will capture our thoughts through our language. Okay, so it is thoughts subjected to scrutiny. Someone will say, how do you put your mind or something that is going on in your mind under scrutiny as logicians? You capture that thought into language. So we are going to scrutinize our language, how we speak. Okay, and we are starting from the very basic. Okay. So that is how come we got to. This is all unit 1. Those who missed it, or if you didn't miss it, but you still didn't see the point of connection. That's where we are. Okay. So from there, we started with our topics under the unit 1. We saw that sometimes when we speak, the intention is to seek information. We are seeking information. So if you speak and the intention is to gain or get information, then it is interrogative. We said all that, okay? You are interrogating the person. Where is your mother? Which group are you in? Where is the teaching assistant? How old are you? Did Gojo travel? All these are instances of interrogatives. Then my friend's question is still on the screen now. Imperative. When you have an imperative, the rationale, the one speaking an imperative is looking for you to act, to perform an action. Okay? In other words, the person is commanding you. So if I say, do not touch the wall, I'm telling you not to touch. So the action you have to perform is not to touch. Okay, so it's still an instruction, it's a command, it's a directive. We call them together what imperatives. It could also be a request. That's the one that is a bit controversial, someone, and I highlighted that on Saturday, if you remember. Look at example 4 on your screen now. You will see the point I made. It's down there about imperatives. You could instruct people politely, or you could command people in a polite manner. So it will no longer constitute a command, even though it is still an imperative. Look at the umbrella, is called imperative. So it will be a polite way of telling people to do. Instead of telling them to do, you would ask them to do. So it's as if you are asking a question explicitly. I don't remember mentioning that in class, but it is in the slides, so I expect that you would have read it. The word explicitly and implicitly. So they are now on your screen. I could instruct you, but in a polite way. So I say, could you close the door when you step out? And that would come with a question mark. So we said that in class. Look at it. It will come with a question mark, but the intention is not to ask for information. Asking for information is what interrogatives do, but imperatives don't ask for information. That's not the intention of the speaker. We are scrutinizing the thoughts of the speaker, remember. So the topic is thoughts as object of scrutiny. We are making our thoughts the object, the focus of what scrutiny, inquiry. We are inquiring into what we are thinking. You can also call it speech act. So it is an action captured into speech. Those are the ones we are looking at. Okay. So the interrogatives seek information. If you want to scrutinize, you want to open it, analyze, and understand what the intention of a speaker is. When he says, where is your mother? Okay. You cannot presume that if I say, where is your mother, I mean, go and call her for me. They are not the same. One is asking for information. Where is your mother? The other one is instructing you to do something. Go and call your mother for me. They are not the same. So that's what we are doing. So the first one was interrogative. The second one, we are reminding ourselves of, remember, it's not the lecture we are doing. It's what imperative. And that's what you see on your screen. I'm sure that now. So that if I want to instruct you, but I do it politely by asking a question, then if I tell you, could you close the door when you step out? Don't tell me, yes, I could close the door. I didn't ask for information. So I think that that is clear now. Therefore, take note that imperatives could present as if they are interrogating you, as if they are asking for questions, but they are not a genuine question. Okay, so explicitly on the surface of it, openly, it looks as if it's a question. But it comes with a question mark. Look at example 4 on your screen. That's why we say it is explicitly a question or interrogative. But implicitly, hidden in it is what? Imperative. It is actually imperative. But it presents itself counterfeit as if it's a question. So you're a critical mind. If you are scrutinizing, you have to know the two parts that this expression could have, the two ways it can present itself. Explicitly interrogative, implicitly imperative. If you don't see explicit and implicit, I don't think I mentioned it with group 1. I think I mentioned it with group 3, but it is already written in your slide, so you shouldn't have excuses. If you don't see explicit and implicit, you could see overt and covert. Overt spelled O-V-E-R-T. It's what? Open. What is visible? Okay. Explicit. That's overt. So this is overtly interrogative or pretending to be asking a question. But what's the other one? The other word is covert. C-O-V-E-R-T. covered, hidden, implicit. Okay, so this expression number 4 is explicitly interrogative, implicitly imperative. If you don't want to use explicit and implicit, you could say it is overtly interrogative, but covertly imperative, the same thing. Okay, so take note, that's imperative. We saw interrogative, we are seeing imperative, and all that comes with imperative. And then we also looked at declaratives, which had 3 types. You remember, factuals, value judgment, and definitions. And so what are declaratives? They rather convey information. Is that type of linguistic expression, that type of sentence that does what? That conveys information. Interrogative is a type of sentence, if you like, that seeks information. It's a linguistic expression that seeks information. That's interrogative. Imperative is a type of sentence that does what? A request of the hearer to perform an action. Okay, that is imperative. But declarative is that type of a sentence that gives you information, conveys information. They are all sentences, but they act different. Their expectations are different. So declarative rather conveys information. We said because it gives you information, that information can be either true or false. That simply means declaratives have a truth value. Or if you like, they are what truth bearers. You can't forget that. So whether it is factual statement, value judgment, or definition, we learned that they are all declaratives. You can also call them statement, proposition, assertion. Look on your screen, they are there. And this type of sentence or this type of linguistic expression is the only one that has what a truth value or is what a truth bearer. How many have we done or reminded ourselves of interrogative, imperative? We just did declarative, and we have revised the 3 types of declaratives alongside, so we can finish in no time. We'll go to slide number 2. Now, then we saw that there can be fragments of sentences and what? An emotive expression. Fragment is an incomplete sentence. It's not complete, so you can't place it under interrogative, imperative, or declarative because it is not complete. That is what a sentence fragment is. Then emotive expressions are what? Capturing the feelings, or if you like, the emotions of the speaker. Okay, so what you have on the screen are examples of sentence fragment, but what you currently have are examples of what emotive expressions. The emotive expressions often come with exclamation. Sometimes there won't be exclamation, but the language is expressing emotion. What a brilliant child you have. You don't need to put a different exclamation there, but it might capture what a day. If I don't put emotion there, at all, from the language that it captures emotion, okay? But if you want it to be a sentence fragment, then oftentimes there won't be emotions attached, but the expression is incomplete. I pause for questions. If you still have topic 1, I see hands up. I don't know if it was to read or to ask questions. So your hand is up. Please, if it is to read, then put your hand down. Now I'm trying to get those who have questions from topic 1. Okay. Angel Mouse, is there a question, please?
Yeah, it's a question, please.
Go ahead, sir.
It's a question.
Yeah, the person talking is not Angel Mousy. I'm asking Angel Mousy. Please, the one speaking, is your hand up? Because I see Quarter Evans. What is yours a question or you read for me?
Yes, I wanted to read for you.
Thank you so much. I'll let you read it. Let me put your hand down for now. I'll let you read. No worries. Rhoda Bosu. Rhoda, is yours a question, please? Jovila, your hand is up. Okay, so I see 5 hands up. To save us time, if your intention is to read and we haven't called you, would you kindly unmute? There are 4 hands now. Please, I see Joseph George. Okay, Joseph's hand just went down. I see 2 hands now, Alice and then an ID that I don't want to mention. Then Adnan Mawan. Adnan, is there a question? Please go ahead.
Yes, madam.
Go ahead, sir.
Please, the emotive expression, is it always has to be an exclamation sign with it?
I think that I just responded. Did anyone hear my response to that one and would want to help Adnan hear me? You can raise your hand and respond to Adnan because I just reacted. Okay, Clement, go ahead. Wow, I see 3 hands now.
Okay.
Clement, Eunice, will any one of you help Adnan? Just unmute and answer.
Okay, hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. So with the emotive expression, it doesn't always need an exclamation to be emotive. But depending on the expression you are having, makes it emotive. Hello.
Hello. Okay.
That's
Thank
very
you.
correct, sir. That's very correct. Adnan, are you sorted?
Yeah, I'm satisfied, madam. Thank you.
Great. Welcome. Maybe you lost your network or you didn't hear me there, so it's fine. But it came from a colleague. The reason why I did that is so you'll be encouraged. All of us will be encouraged. Yeah? Then the one who is here will hear well. Then the one who missed it will hear from a friend, and then there is a collegial help. That's fine. So we move on now. Now on our slide, I still see hands up. Adnan has his answer now. Please, Rita, is yours a question or you wanted to help Adnan? I see Bafo, I see Abdul Rauf, and maybe it's Baba. Are you all asking questions? Then any one of you can ask. There are 6 hands up now. You can unmute and ask. Rita, go ahead.
I wanted to ask a question. You said
Go ahead.
the emotive expressions, right?
Yeah.
You don't need an exclamation mark before you decide that it's an emotive expression. Does
I
that
think that when
mean
there is
that
just a minute, when there is an exclamation, it helps to show how the writer wants you to read it. Okay, so then you can clearly know that the person is expressing emotions. Because if there's exclamation, it means it is being exclaimed. The person is exclaiming it. Hey, what a day. Wow. That's how the author, the one who wrote it, wants you to read it. So that will be clear. But sometimes what is written down doesn't have exclamation and it is still an expression of the emotion of the speaker. So now ask me your question.
so it means that with the commands, sometimes they do not need
Okay.
hello.
I'm listening,
It
but
means
someone who's speaking at the background, ignore the person and go ahead, please.
Does that mean that with the imperative statements too, one needn't
We don't have
add?
imperative statement. I'm sorry, when it is not correct, I don't want you to go on because someone may lose the connection at that time and pick that. So we don't have imperative statement. Okay.
The
Imperative
imperatives.
statement will be like a married bachelor. If it's a
Okay.
statement, very good. Continue now.
Okay.
But
With
I
the
get you, the
imperatives.
imperative. Yeah.
Yeah. Does that mean that sometimes you can give a command without adding a punctuation to it?
Yes.
Let's say.
Do not underline your answers. That is a command. I didn't shout. So who is this?
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so commands need not, if it's a command, it doesn't have to be shouted at. I could tell you, come at 8:30. I'm commanding, I'm instructing, I'm directing. Okay, I'm not shouting it. So it's not emotional. It's just how things work because I'm teaching now. I can't be engaging the person who is outside my door. So behind the door, you may see a notice that says, come after 2. That is an instruction. That's direction. You can think of it as a command. Okay. Thank you, my lady. That will help a lot of people. Let's take Baba Mavis, if your question is still there. I see 10 hands up now. So I will take 3 of them and then we'll move on a little and come back. That's how we do it. So if your question is not answered, don't put your hand down. But if it is to read, then respectfully put your hand down so that I can address those who have questions. Okay. Go ahead, my lady Mavis. Mavis, unmute first, okay? If Mavis is struggling, let me take Rhoda, but maybe Rhoda will ask her question. Rhoda is already unmuted. Rhoda, go ahead. You are answered, eh?
No, I'm asking.
Rhoda, go ahead. Don't get distracted. Go ahead, okay? So when two people are having a conversation and what?
Hey, did it really? Madam, that one will interrogate it because the person wants to know what actually happened.
Some of the things you said, I couldn't hear, my dear Rhoda. So you said if two people are having a conversation and what?
And one person said, hey, it really happened.
Like, did it
Madam,
really happen?
Please find
So
that.
the expression the person gave was, did it really happen? Is that it?
Hey, did it really happen?
Because of the A. That's a typical scenario. My dear Rhoda, because of the A, it's an emotion the person is expressing. Just like the ones we did in class. I don't know if you were there. There were quite a number of, we had a full room at that big room there. So a lot of you would have been there. But I want to reach out for the one person out of the 99. So I'm still doing a mop of a kind. You see, if the person says, hey, who do you think you are? Like one of your friends said at the lecture that day. He said, even if the person didn't say, hey, and said, who do you think you are? Who do you think? Now, who can say why? That is not a question. You see. So the one who said, hey, did it really happen? You are surprised. You are expressing emotion. Okay, that is what it is. It is not really for you to say, oh yes, it really happened. Your hey that preceded it. It's rather a sign of like surprise. Hey, did it really happen? So this is more of an emotive expression than a genuine question looking for information. Because if the person repeated and said, oh, it did happen, of course, she told you it happened. You heard that she says it happened. What you are expressing is surprise about the fact that such a thing happened. That's what you're expressing. So if I'm reading your intentions well, this is an emotive expression. More of that than a question. Okay. Yeah. So we'll keep practicing. Okay. Let's take Precious Champo. Then afterwards, I'll take Solomon Etriahene. Tariq, I wish you added your surname or another name so that we can know that it's you, because there can be others like that. Precious, go ahead first, then I'll take Solomon Etriahene, and we'll be good. Let me mute her, then Precious can unmute first, and then ask a question. Go ahead, Precious, a champion. Please unmute first. Precious, we can't hear you, or I can't hear you.
Madam, please.
It's better now. Yes, now I can hear you.
Madam,
go ahead.
Please, someone asked my question and you answered, so I'm okay with
it. Okay. Thank you. So you are sorted. Then you have to go and give some coins to the person who asked your question for you.
Yes.
Go ahead. Let's take you. Thank you, Precious. Please put your hands down if your question is answered there, so that I will not waste too much time. Let us take our friend. I mentioned another name, but the person's hand is down now. I suspect that his question is answered. So we'll take Asiedu. Asiedu, if you could add another name, it helps. Currently, you are the only Asiedu whose hand is up. So go ahead. Unmute first and ask. That will be on standby. Asiedu, you are muted though. Okay, let's take Backwards hand has gone down. I think he's also sorted. Let's take Pius Pate. Pius, go ahead. All right, there are 4 hands up now. It looks like the others who raised their hands, either it's an error or they are trying their luck. So there are 4 hands now. Please unmute and ask. Any one of you can unmute and ask if it's a genuine question. Go ahead, quickly.
Hello, please. Madam.
Go ahead. Please go ahead with your question.
Hello, please. Okay, so I was answering some questions in the textbook.
Ask
and
your
then
question.
I found the question.
Please ask the question.
Okay, so
you see, just a minute. We have done interrogative. So sometimes I'll tell you, ask a question. I want you to apply what we have done. So it should be a question, seeking information.
Yeah, it's
not, go ahead.
So there was a statement, a sentence, and then if Ahmed's only sister were to marry her husband's father, then Ahmed's brother-in-law would also be her father-in-law. And I answered it as factual statement, but they said it's definition. Why?
What is the definition, sir? I'm helping you. So let's do it together. What is a definition?
So definition, it gives the meaning of the sentence or the word.
Okay. Why would you say that the brother or so and so sister is so and so brother-in-law? You see that you are applying the meanings of brother-in-law, sister, what have you, so that you can tell that read what makes sisters, whatever is the meaning of the term that you are working with. In your giving the meanings, you would you see in class I gave you 3 examples. A bachelor is an unmarried adult male. A bachelor is sitting under the tree. A bachelor has a good conscience. The first one, which we all said is a definition, for someone could be a factual statement. Because the definition is what you are using out there. If I say a bachelor is an unmarried adult male, it's typically a definition. But I can also be stating a fact about who bachelors are. That is why in what we are going to study, by the time your unit 1 ends, you are prompted that take note that a statement could be both a factual and what? A value judgment. A statement could be both a factual and a definition. An imperative could also be a value judgment. Can you imagine? Imperative is not even a statement, but some way, somehow, it could also be a what? A value judgment. I don't know if I give an example in class. So I could say, you should not talk back at your mother. You shouldn't. That is simply saying it is wrong to talk back at your mother. That's a value judgment, a type of declarative. And yet, it could also be an instruction or what's the other one? A directive or something like that. In other words, it is imperative. Imperatives are not even statements. Yet, that one expression standing there could be instructing you at the same time, could be what? Passing judgment on you, where it is a type of statement. So in critical thinking, what we are learning is, first of all, the main lines, the white versus the black. Then we learn the gray areas where the white is mixing with the black. So you see that when you ask questions, we don't like giving you straightforward answers all the time, unless it is clearly that. Because sometimes what you are asking could be A, it could also be B. What makes you a critical thinker is your ability to see that this expression could also be a value judgment, plus it could also be what an imperative. So now back to your question. The textbook tells you in the answers that they are suggested answers. Sometimes what you are proposing is also correct. It hasn't been captured because there can be various ways of looking at that. So the reason why the textbook chooses definitions for that example you have given there is because your ability to say that Ame's sister's husband is so and so is because of the meaning of sister, the meaning of brother-in-law. So you are just applying meanings to interpret what the relation is to Amma. But once you define, which is meanings, definitions, you will still be stating fact. So that one of your colleagues, I don't know if it was the first group, came to you and said, when you asked a bachelor is an unmarried adult male, me, I chose factual. That's what the person told me. I chose factual, but a lot of people chose definition. I said it is a definition given, which you can now use to work factually. So a hen is a female chicken. That is defining what a hen is. But if I'm describing or giving you a factual observation of which I can tell you a hen is a female chicken, and I may not be defining, I may be stating a fact. So this is an instance, or these are instances showing you that definitions could also be what? Factual. Water is H2O. That is a definition. I'm giving you them. In fact, we are going to do definitions today. You will see that sometimes, even when I point to something, that is a bottle, and I'm pointing to it. It's a type of definition. It's a way of giving meaning. And those definitions could be stating facts. So there is nothing to worry your head up over at all. Now, the question that made some people be, so doc, in the exam, when you ask me this one, which one should I choose? The same response I gave about the explicit meaning and implicit meaning. That is what you should choose. It depends on what you will be asked. So if we asked you for the explicit and implicit, if we ask you, this expression could be A, then A says both imperative and interrogative. B says only imperative. C says only interrogative. That is where your critical thinking should start. The expression could be both A and B. So it could be both imperative and interrogative. That's why you should choose the A in the options I gave you. But if I said this interrogative could also be, then the possible answers are the ones I gave you, you have to say it could also be what? Imperative, because I've already identified it as an interrogative, but it could also be the other one. And so on and so forth. Depending on what you are asked, then you answer. So back to the textbooks. Take note. The responses in the text, the answers suggested, they are suggested. You look at the top. They are the suggested meanings with reasons why it is so. Then sometimes the instruction tells you, when you look at the question, you think the response should be this one and not the other one. Discuss it. You may not be wrong. That is it. So this one that you read is a definition that you are applying meanings of terms to be able to tell whether it is a correct one or a wrong one. Sister-in-law, brother-in-law, sister. That is what you are connecting to be able to tell whether Ame's sister's husband is her brother-in-law or not. It is the meaning you give to those terms that you use to ascertain truth. But it could be stating a fact. You could be telling auntie that came to visit you that, hey, Ama's sister's husband is my brother-in-law. This woman is Ama's sister's brother. That's why I call him brother-in-law. You may be stating a fact, not just giving people the meanings about how they should use. They are not wrong either. All right. If you are answered, then I'll take. Was it Asiedu that asked the question? Let me be sure. If not, then Asiedu ask your question. Abdul Rauf, ask your own questions. Asiedu, are you answered, please? You are muted, though, so I don't hear you. Maybe you have responded.
Yes,
Very good. Thank you very much. Let's take Abdul Rauf and then we'll continue quickly to lecture 2. Abdul Rauf, your hand is up. Is there a question, please? Ask quickly. People. Sylvester Benson. Ask your question, please.
Madam, please, Abdul Rashid.
Abdul Rashid.
The sentence fragment, I didn't get it.
Abdul Rashid, was your hand up, please?
Yes.
Oh, which one
please,
is your hand? Did you put your ID there? Hold on, please. Is your hand up?
Yes.
We don't want it to be too chaotic. Otherwise, people's data will just be wasted. Which one is your hand? I don't see your hand up. Say. Okay. Which one is your hand? Okay, no problem. Go ahead, sir. If you put your hand up, it will help. We are almost over 300 now. 280 something currently, and still counting. You see, so if we don't regulate it, everybody will ask questions. I missed, miss. Then I don't know who is asking, and it will be chaotic and noisy and a waste of time. Okay, so let's work in an organized setting. We'll take everybody's consent. Okay, go ahead, sir. Go ahead. Is it Abdul something? It wasn't Abdul Rauf, but you go ahead. Oh dear. Okay, let's take Sylvester Mensah now. Sylvester, is there a question? Ask quickly. Sylvester, ask your question, please, if it's a question.
Hello.
Go ahead. I can hear you now.
Please, can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly. Go ahead.
Please, Madam, I'd like to read out the question, and I want you to help me out.
That is what
I want to ask if it's a definition.
Sylvester, and everybody whose hand is out, I'm asking you to ask a question. So when you get the opportunity, just ask the question. Okay? Go ahead.
Please, so my sentence is, Dr. Mouse is a lecturer because she teaches at the university.
What is the question about this statement? Go ahead. What is the question? What are you asking?
I'm reading out a sentence, and I would like. And please, I'm reading out a sentence, and I would like to know if.
Go ahead.
So the sentence is, Dr. Mouse is a lecturer because she teaches at the university.
I got the statement. Okay, Sylvester. I think we are having a distance issue, so I'll patiently wait. I get your statement. I want to know what your question is about the statement. You want to know if it is what?
I would like to ask if it's a definition.
Is that a definition? Someone answer for me.
Yes,
Yes or no? The whole class. Let me ask the whole class now. So you can unmute and respond. You think it's a definition? Say yes. You think it is not? Say no.
It's not.
Yes.
No.
Dr. Miles
It's not.
is a
Yes.
lecturer
No, no,
because go ahead.
no. Yes.
Because
No.
he teaches at the
It's
university.
not. It's not.
Yes, definition. No, not
Yes.
It's
definition. I
not.
want
It's
a
a
cross
definition.
answer.
No.
It's not a
Everybody
No,
say
It's not.
Yes.
It's
no,
not.
it's not a definition.
Yes, it is.
It's not.
But it's not a
It's a
definition.
Yeah.
definition.
Not.
all right. Thank you all
Not a
very much.
definition.
No, it's not a definition.
Okay,
Yes.
now everybody is muted. It's okay. Now everybody should be muted. Okay. Sometimes students like to talk some. It's not like you alone. You come and you talk some. So, so you are mute and the people
Okay.
express themselves and then we continue. My dear
Okay.
friend, so you see your question, Celeste, I see so your question was an important one because if you look at the feedback, and I intentionally asked to hear from everybody. We don't have a chorus straightforward with one or two wrongs. Okay, it is divided. Dr. Miles is a lecturer because that's what he said, because she teaches at the university. What is a definition? A definition gives meaning. So let's go to our screen now. On our screen, we are seeing the value judgment, which is a type of statement. I have now projected the third type of declarative, which is what? Definitions.
Yeah.
So Esther, please read what you see on the screen and let's discuss, okay? Definition. Go ahead. You help a lot of people, so go ahead. I've started sacking people from the class. They won't
Madam,
come
please, so
back.
far.
Go ahead, my dear Sylvester.
Madam, Madam, please, the screen.
You can't see the screen. Hey, please, who can see my screen? I beg you.
Madam, please, I can't see your screen as well.
I can't
You can see.
Madam, I can
Madam,
see.
we can see.
I can see.
Don't worry.
Madam, I can see. Don't mind them.
Thank you. I like the one who
We
said
can
I
see.
can see. Oh, no. Please be patient. One of you said I can see. Hold on. Hey, we are level 100. A lot of the things we are doing is typical of level 100. Okay.
Please, madam, I
Not
can
many
see.
lecturers can handle level 100 classes. Marian Pencil, your microphone is not muted. May I know why? You were answering my question here. Okay,
Yes.
now let's get it muted. Thank you. Let's get it muted, okay?
Madam, please,
The
I can't
question
see your
Sylvester
screen.
asked is an important question. I wanted him to read, he cannot see. It looks like Ajima Emmanuel can see. Ajima Emmanuel, can you see the screen?
No,
Madam,
please.
please.
Madam, I can see.
I
want to read.
There's only one person called Emmanuel Ajima. I want only him to answer. Emmanuel Ajima, please, can you see?
No, please, madam.
Very good. Sylvester, can you see now? Sylvester Mensah, you can see now.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes, please.
What happens? I want to help you. Thank you, the two of you. What happens is sometimes when you leave your screen without any activity for a while, it freezes. Okay, just like we do with our
Okay.
So I haven't changed anything. That's why some can see, some cannot see. So for your own benefit, please, when you are on the screen, once in a while, don't touch where the icons are, the reactions. Or that one, you can go and raise your hand or something. But you can give some activity to the screen. So that is what has happened.
Okay.
That's why some could see, some couldn't see. Don't get yourself worked up. Then, oh, I couldn't see it, please. Calm down so that you can benefit. You see how I've taken my time to teach. If it is a master's class, this topic, I would have taught about 5 topics in 2 hours. I'm done. But I know the class I'm dealing with. Okay, we are going to definitions. You will see how you make meaning with a targeted audience in mind. So, Professor Mensah said, please read
teaching what she taught on Saturday.
Yes. Go ahead.
The UGRC.
So, a definition is a sentence that informs by giving meaning to the word.
Very good. Don't read again. So I want to help you, and then others like you to understand. What? A definition is also a type of declarative. What it does is to help you have the meaning of the word. It means that whenever we have a definition, there is an unknown word, and then there is a part that we know. We are using what we know to get to what we do not know. So a definition will have two parts. And now is a good time to go to types of definitions, which is our lecture 2. We haven't jumped at all. I'll come and take all questions on topic 1. But I want to help you by helping you see what is on the screen. Okay, so let's start. You're on standby with your team. Whenever there is a definition, it means there is an unknown word. Then you are using what you know to help people know what they do not know. That's what you are doing. So an example of a definition is pollination is the transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma. If I tell you pollination is the transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma, it means I'm giving you the meaning of an unknown word. Which word is the one that you do not know? I want a chorus answer. Unmute and answer.
Pollination.
Pollination. Very good.
Pollination.
Yes, that's correct.
Pollination.
No, Auntie Midamasi.
Pollination.
Some people are far away, so it takes a while for them to hear. No problem. Okay. So whenever you hear a definition, Sylvester, it means there is a word you don't understand, and we are using the other words to help you understand. Okay. So a definition always presupposes a definiendum and what? A definiens. I want to use my colleague's slides to check. It will help you. So let me just project that. That is what we have put in the
Yes, please.
resource tool for you. All the lecturers on the team are giving you their slides so that you have a fair idea. Okay. So let me project just that. I was going for my own, but I can project what is in your slide for you, and then we can move calmly, one step at a time, capturing. Just take note that the questions we'll ask you on these units are already prepared. So we are now on definiendum versus definiens. So let's start. Please read what you see on my screen right after the topic. This one is what you also have in your slides, so no headaches. Go ahead.
Definiendum versus definiens.
Good.
A standard definition.
Resta, do you need help? We want to hear it. Okay. We may have special students. So let me. Who has a very good background and can read for us? Thank you.
Madam, I can read.
Madam, well I can read.
Madam, clear to I can read.
Madam, well
My background is very clear.
Clear to
Yeah, I can read.
I can read.
Yeah, madam.
Please, Mary Burgess should unmute and read for me.
Call Philemon.
Madam, let me read
I
it.
can read very clear.
Hey, that's
Yeah,
I see. That's why I'm getting a lot of feedback. Hey,
Please
Jonas,
call me.
Jonas.
Please call me.
Madam, yeah, I'm here.
Please call me.
Madam, we are here.
Hold on.
Call me. The voice.
Listen. Don't unmute. I'm muted all. Okay. Listen, I'm happy about your enthusiasm. We are past 300.
I can read.
People, I said nobody. Okay, let me take a very Let me take a very enthusiastic person to read for me. Okay.
Philemon Gladstone.
Matthew, please read for me. Matthew, unmute and read. Everyone keep quiet, please. Let's hear Matthew. Go ahead, Matthew. Thank you. Go
Definiendum
ahead.
versus definiens.
Go ahead. Very good.
A standard definition has two parts. Namely definiendum and definiens.
Don't ever
Definiendum.
forget those. Thank you, sir. So definiendum, like sir is going to read, is the one that we don't know. Then definiens is the part of the definition that we are going to use to give meaning. So every definition gives meaning to an unknown word. That's what definition does. I'm trying to give you how you should use the word. So if it is a definition, what will help you know is whether the expression, the statement is giving you the meaning of another one. There is a part that is not known, then you are using other parts to help you know the unknown. The other part you use to help you understand the other one is the one we call definiens. So what is familiar to you is definiens. What is not familiar is definiendum. You use the definiens to put a meaning, to give meaning, clarity to what the definiendum. Okay, let's find some examples quickly. I want to find you some examples, like the one I gave you. Okay, what did I say? I said pollination is a transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma. That is what a definition is. Whilst factual is only using the already known word in a statement. You are applying it. So if I say a bachelor is sitting under the tree, that is a factual matter. If I say a bachelor is an unmarried adult male, I'm showing you how to use the word bachelor. What we mean when we say bachelor. Those are the two. Okay, if you got it. I don't know. I think Stephen is answered now. All right, we can go on quickly. So you know definiendum and you know definiens. What is the definiens of the definition? Water is H2O. I want a chorus answer. Unmute and answer. Water is H2O.
It's
H2O.
It's H2O.
Water is definiens.
So
It's
H2O.
H2O.
Well done.
It's
Don't worry,
H2O.
let people express themselves.
It's
So H2O
H2O.
is the definiens, okay? S is the copula, the one that marries the two. Is
H2O.
the word is the copula, the marrying, word, the word that is marrying the definiendum with what? The definiens, okay? So we have water, which is the definiendum. In our definition that we just gave, water is H2O. I'm saying if you don't know water, look at what H2O. Understand the logic of definitions so that when we start doing diagnosing definitions, you don't struggle. I'm going to use the same principle, okay? So water is H2O. Water is the unknown word, the definiendum. H2O is the known word. Then I use the is, which is the copula, to marry the two. Then it creates definition. Okay. I could have said H2O is water. Then the definiendum and definiens will switch places immediately because I'm making H2O the unknown word. And I'm saying water is what is helping you understand H2, and so on and so forth. Okay. So always the part that is being used to give meaning to the other part. That part I'm using to give meaning is the definiens. Then the one that is supposedly not known is the definiendum. If you got that, and now you can move quickly and almost like jumping now. We are not trotting. But if the foundation is good, then you can build on it. So I was more interested in your foundations. If you know
Please, I have a
definition,
question.
keep your hand up. The others that have a question. Who is this? Who is speaking, please? I see 14. It's your hand up. It's your hand up.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Go ahead. Let me take your question. Everyone else, forgive me.
Please,
Let me take one.
with the example you cited, that H2O is water and water is H2O.
Go ahead.
Please, does it mean that always the definiens comes before the definiendum?
I didn't say that. I haven't said that, okay? I said that the word that you seek meaning for is the one that is the definiendum. Then the part that you are using to give meaning is the definiens. I didn't talk about positions, okay?
Oh, okay.
All right. Very good. Is there another question so far that must be clarified before we build on? I'll be glad to do that. Maybe it's Baba. Do you have a question?
Yes, madam.
Ask it quickly. Don't worry, go ahead.
Madam, please, my question is, so can we say almost all the time the medium is used as the subject to the
The
definition?
answer is no. It's just like the one that your friend asked. Because I can switch it. You see, I can switch it. The second example I gave, they are both words. They are not definitions. The second one that I said H2O is water. H2O is still a word. But I could say, I could switch it, okay? I could give a definition where I brought the definitions before the definition. Which one is the one we are seeking meaning for? That is what becomes the definition. And which one is giving meaning? That is the definition. So it's not the position, whether it's subject or predicate, just like my friend asked, okay? I hope that helps. Let's take Kelvin. Kelvin, do you have a question? Kelvin Adai Africa, is it a question? Hey, I won't get a response to. Evans Scott, is there a question or you wanted to read?
No, please. Actually, I wanted to read. Yes.
Thank you so much. Okay, I'll ask for someone to read again. I appreciate that. Let's take there's a person with an ID. I've intentionally ignored it because I don't want to mention your ID. You've been up for a while now. I don't know if you would want to change to your name. Okay. Hilda Abuaje, is there a question, please?
Yes. Please, the definition. Example H2O. So H2 is water. So doesn't mean that. Okay. Doesn't mean that. Okay. Hello.
So, hi.
The
Hi. I'm having a class.
Yes. Yes.
Hello. My lady.
Hello.
Yes, I'm sorry. Ask your question again. I got a little distracted. Or you were rather responding to someone. Hilda, what was your question?
Like,
Yeah.
like the rooms is in, there's too much
Hilda,
echo.
keep quiet, please. Hilda, go ahead with your question, please.
Never do your me too.
Hilda, don't worry. School fees. I have time for you. I've called you. Take your time and answer. Don't worry. And ask your question. Go ahead.
Okay. The definition, the like
and the definition.
The words used. The words used in defining.
So, for example, if I say a bachelor is an unmarried man, the word bachelor is the definiendum. Then an unmarried man is the definition. And then the H is the popular, that joins the two. So you can use that as a reference point to ask your question. Go ahead. Hilda, go ahead. Don't worry. Go ahead.
Hello.
I'm waiting for you. Go ahead.
Please, I was saying the definition include if is hand and the other words are part of the definition.
Please, did anyone get Hilda's question? Help me, I want to address it. I won't continue if we have not addressed it, unless it's something that we can address online. Okay. If someone gets her question, can you restate it so that I can hear her? Yes, Osha, go ahead. Osha Christopher, I think you want to help. Rafik, Osha, go ahead.
Hello, madam.
Are you trying to help? Go ahead, Sheikh. Thank you.
I wanted to ask a question, but I didn't get what actually went.
Oh, okay. Hilda, can you send me an email of the or call me after the class, okay? So that I address that particular concern you have about definitions. I don't hear the second part. Okay. I will take my time and explain it to you. Okay. My contact is if you send me an email, you tell me that dog, please, this is Hilda Baji. I was trying to communicate in class, but I think I couldn't come out well. Blah blah blah. I'll give you my contact. I'll call you to speak. Okay. Because of what I've said, 1,001 people will send a message and say they are Hilda Baji. So send it through Taka so that I can get your email in the system. Okay. All right. Let's take Big Boss. Ask your question, and I can go to the types of definitions quickly.
Madam,
Christopher, yes, go ahead.
I wanted to ask if, let's say, anything after a verb, after the verb in a sentence is the definitions.
No, please, you can. Can you kindly, respectfully use the criteria I've given you? That will help you than all the other ones you are saying. Okay, because sometimes the verb there is not acting as a copula. It's not marrying the two sides to give meaning. See, if I say a bachelor has a good conscience, it's not defining. Has is a verb, but it's not giving you meaning. Okay, so I don't want to give you anything that is not well defined. So just ask yourself: is the declarative put there giving you the meaning of a word? If it is, then it is a definition. How do you identify the definition? Okay, the word that is being, clarified, the word whose meaning we are giving is the definition. Then the others that we are using to give meaning to this word are the definitions. That's the clear criteria for distinguishing the two. Right. Okay. So we pause for a while. Thank you very much. Let's pause with the questions. Those questions that are still up, let it be there. Let me advance a little. That I come back to your questions. Okay. I've seen Pius's hand. I've seen Del. I've seen Jay. I've seen Ebenezer Muisi. Favor, your hand is still up. Andrews and all that. I've seen you. Okay. So we'll come back shortly. Let's go to our slides, and then I'll have one of you read types of definitions that you will find in your textbook. Who is reading for? There are 6 types.
I'll read.
You can
I'll
see them.
read.
You
I'll
can. Let's
read.
do.
I'll
Don't worry.
read.
Relax.
Madam, I read.
Madam,
I want a uniform reading so you can all read together. Or
All
mute
right.
and
madam, let
read.
me read. Madam, let me.
Everybody should read some.
There's
It's just one
Madam,
hour.
madam. There's
All
6
right. Read
types
for
of
Yes,
definition.
this types of definition.
The
Lexical,
six
One,
types of definitions. Lexical
operational,
definition,
Ostensive
theoretical,
definition,
operational
ostensive
definition,
ideal
operational
definition,
definition.
definition,
operational
narrative
definition,
stipulated,
theoretical
theoretical
definition,
definition,
ideal
theoretical
definition,
stipulative definition,
theoretical
ideal
definition,
definition.
There's
operational
six types
definition.
of definition.
theoretical
Lexical.
definition, stipulative definition, ideal
Lexical
definition.
definition.
Madam, they will blow your ears.
Ostensive.
Yes. Are you
Is
all?
that your last one person for you to read it? Oh,
Yeah,
Yes,
we are
you
done. We are
people.
done.
Well, the short time we gave you
We
for
are done,
break.
madam.
I know you are done. I'm here.
We are done.
This is like 100 class. So I'm patient. When you see your first result in the university, I trust that it will give you morale to enjoy. I pray that it
Moral.
will give you. Yeah. You bring your morale at the back class. Why? All right. Now, so people, on your screen, you see, listen to me, I'm going to do strategic teaching that you're not struggling. The first type of definition is the lexical one, from the word lexicon, dictionary. So the first place we help you to know the meaning of a word, if you don't know, is to tell you, to refer you to what? To the lexicon, the dictionary. So oftentimes the dictionary captures the universal generally used meanings of words. Finished. The meaning you find in a dictionary then is what we will describe as what? A lexical definition, which is capturing the general use of the word. That is lexical definition. So if you don't know the meaning of a word, I tell you, look it up in the dictionary. The general usage for that word is the lexical definition. Is this difficult? No. Second type of definition, ostensive definition, is also a way of giving meaning. These are what? Ways of giving meaning. Remember what a definition is. Definitions give meaning. You know what? Okay. So ostensive definition gives meaning. How? By pointing to or demonstrating. So you ostentiate to give meaning. If you don't know Pan logo, the dance called Pan logo, then I tell, oh, you don't know Pan logo. This is Pan logo, and I start doing it for you to see, like I'm doing in my office now. I'll be giving you an ostensive definition of Pan logo. I'm demonstrating to give meaning. I could also point to some people dancing Pan logo to show you that that is Pan logo. I'm still giving you ostensive definition. Understand that there are at least six different ways of giving what? Meanings, according to your textbook, the text that you are learning. There are 6. We have seen lexical definition, which is a dictionary definition. We just saw ostensive definition, where you ostentiate, you point to the object. Someone doesn't know fufu. So that is fufu. You are pointing to a picture of fufu on the screen there, so that he or she can order. You are giving meaning of fufu to the person, or you can do it for the person to see. So you can, I don't know, then you are pounding fufu to show this one. What I'm doing is what we call pounding fufu. You are demonstrating. That's the second type, to give meaning. Then there's operational definition. Operational definition means you give the steps, the instructions that will lead you to the thing whose meaning you are giving. So you give meaning by giving the operation, the steps, the instructions that will lead you to the thing. You can do it writing it down, talking about it. But when you demonstrate it, you are not doing operational definition, you are doing ostensive definition. And listing, showing it, you are demonstrating, you are pointing to, that's ostentiation. So operational gives the steps. Oh, you don't know fufu. Fufu is what you get when you buy cassava, plantain, put on fire, you boil, blah, blah, blah. You pound it into dumplings, you mold it. That is fufu. You are showing the steps that take you to the unknown word. Ostentiation, which is ostensive definition. You do it, demonstration, or you point to show. Lexica, you look it up in the dictionary. Those are the three done so far. Yes, madam.
So,
Yes,
please,
madam.
my network wasn't that good.
Don't worry, that's why I'm recording. It will come back, okay? I just showed that I repeated myself on. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, don't worry. We are recording.
Yes,
okay?
I can hear you.
So we continue. Okay. I just explained lexical to be the definition you get in the dictionary. Ostensive to be the definition you get to by pointing to, you give meaning by pointing to your known word. Okay, so you point to it or you demonstrate. Both of them are what? Ostentiation, ostensive definition. And the third one that I said is what? Operational. You give the steps that take you to the thing. Then the fourth one is theoretical definition, theory-based. As for theoretical definition, the person must know a whole theory. It is pregnant. That definition is pregnant with a background, an academic discipline, or if you like, an institutionalized discipline. You have to know a whole discipline to be able to understand that definition because it is technical. Why do you keep unmuting yourself when I mute? Oh, you are doing, then I'll have a certain posture for this class, which you won't like. I'm trying not to, my people. I have muted so that you can hear. It's for you, not me. I'm not going to write an exam. Please keep yourself comported. We play a lot. I'm very playful. If you are playing my videos, you know, I'm very playful and happy. But you are paid fees. It's not easy to pay fees like that. So the student must benefit from what they have paid and they are diligently seated or standing wherever they are listening. So when we play a little, then we get serious a little, okay? I want you to benefit. Your questions are already set. By the grace of God, yours truly, the one sitting in front of you, will examine you. With the help of my colleagues, of course. But I will examine you. So I want you to be minded when you get too playful. Okay, let's continue. I was trying to explain to some of you who may not have seen it. Lexical definition, ostensive definition, operational. I think those are straightforward a little. But theoretical is based on theory. You must know the academic discipline in question or the institutionalized discipline to be able to understand the definition. For example, water is H2O. It's a theoretical one. H is hydrogen. The 2 is a subscript. You don't write the 2 in the middle. You don't write it as a superscript, like a raised to the power this. No, if you write it that way, you are saying something else. You have to write it lower than the H and the O as a subscript. The O is not 0, it's oxygen. In fact, in front of the oxygen, there should be 1, but that 1 there is taken for granted. That definition on your screen, water is H2O, already assumes room temperature. Because if you put that thing in fridge, it will no longer be water. It will become ice block. If you put it on fire, it will become vapor or something like that. Those of you are science oriented. Okay, so when you see water is H2O, it's a whole chemistry. You must understand chemistry to get the grasp of that word definition. Otherwise, it will not be meaningful to you. So if I'm cooking my stew, those who have played the videos that are the past videos, you will see that this example I've given it over and over again. I'm cooking banku in the kitchen, stirring it, and it's burning. I want water. I'm calling the house, someone who's assisting me at home to bring me water. The house help. Yeah, bring me H2O. How will she understand that? Water is H2O, yes, but not to Yaya, who's typically not a chemist. She might be educated to a certain level, but not interested in your chemistry and biology. And in the kitchen, you want water, say water. Or you can even point to the water in that cup over there and say, take it for me. It will be more meaningful at that time than if you go showing all your chemistry education that you have and be saying, yeah, bring me H2O, bring me your banku will burn. Because it is not the right place to use that meaning that way, for example. So sometimes to make meaning, and take note, you have questions to answer on that. You may have to use operational definitions sometimes. You may have to use ostensive. The person has come to, she's a bride, she wants to do her wedding. She has come to your shop or your whatever outfit. She wants you to do a nice wedding gown. If you say, oh, this one I'll do panels or this, I'm not a fashion designer or I don't sew. I may not understand what you are saying. The best meaning you have to give to me to get good market for your job is to point to one that you've done. See, this one, I'm referring to this one. That would be more meaningful, perhaps, at that time than all this your technicality or expertise, okay? So there is a place to call for a specific type of definition. That's the rationale for the topic. As a critical mind, you have to know when to speak, which kind of language. When do you go all technical? When do you go all operational? When will you go ostensive? We may show you the kind of bridges we want to do for whatever, by showing you pictures of it. The person is drinking too much. You're a medical doctor. He keeps coming to your office with the same problem. Maybe the best way of showing them, typical way, is to show the lungs after it has gone through the worst state after alcoholism. Put it at the front of your door before the person enters, maybe to have an impact. The person is not brushing their teeth. Maybe classes. She is not brushing his teeth. When he goes to the dentist, you may show the child how they remove, rotten teeth. When it is all black and greenish, perhaps it may have the impact you are looking for. Then you're plenty talk. The molars and the premolars will do this. We are saying, oh, the person can't grab it at their level and their age. Okay, you are going for an interview to where you are going to meet experts. For instance, let's say our IMF discussions. The person going must show that they know their stuff because you're going to meet technical people. You can't go there and be all pedestrian and going all down to it and pointing to move. You may have to sound technical, show that you know GDP, and you know inflation, and you know the fundamentals are wrong because the people are technical folks. They are not there to learn. They are there to test you, to check if you know. So you have to be very theoretical, theory-based. That is not the place to go. But if you come and are meeting, maybe we ordinary Ghanaians who don't understand all those plenty big bluff, you may have to come down to our level and maybe stipulate. So there we go with stipulative definition. Look at a type number 5. Stipulative definition means you are using the word differently from how it is generally used. No, you're not using it that we are using it for members only, but it is not institutionalized. Take note. The theoretical one is theory-based. It's official, if you like. The stipulative one may not necessarily be official, like home choke. Like if Commonwealth folks say we are going to charge. If they say they are going to charge, you don't go looking for your charger because they are using the word charge, but stipulatively for them. If you are typing on WhatsApp, sometimes someone will say, PM me. I like your DM. I like your profile. Someone will say DM me, direct message for certain types of conversation lines. Okay, for another place to be PM, private message. These are all what stipulative, home choke. Infantile girls then will say, when we're in school, they will say osmosis. Osmosis for the ladies there at that time, I don't know how they refer to it now, means something. Even when we tap, when we want you to watch our back for us, how we do it? If you are not a member, you know. So it is stipulated for members only, and it is not necessarily supported by any institutional backing. Okay, so that is stipulative definition. Look at all the types we have given. They all have their place. If you read your textbook, you find a lot of them. So let's read some. Then the sixth one is the ideal definition. That is what we expect that every definition should be. Where the definiendum, the unknown word, now you know it, I can use it, and the definitions can be used interchangeably everywhere you use the word without any problem. That is not how our definitions are. A bachelor is an unmarried adult male. It's not an ideal definition. Because sometimes when we use the word bachelor, we don't mean an unmarried adult male. We mean a degree you earn in the university at first entrance. So I may say I'm doing my bachelor's. Doesn't mean I'm doing my unmarried adult male. Okay? That is why the definition we give to a lot of our terms are not ideal. They are not ideal because you can't interchange definiendum and definiens whenever you use the word. See how I'm patiently defining these for you to see. But there are times you have to call for lexical definition, the one that is generic, everyone uses because it's in the dictionary. But there are certain times you will need ostensive definition because the general one doesn't help. I don't understand it. Then sometimes you have to use operational to get to the end. You want to do the rasta, okay, first of all, wash the hair, do this. I'm giving you the steps that will take you to the finished product. Then I have to do theoretical sometimes. I use the technical jargons of an institution. Take me, say theory-based. It's not what you and I have agreed on. So I can tell the class rep that if I come to class and I ask for water, that's my example that people like a lot. I mean, I want a petition, local gin, group, very hot. So in class, I could come and say, class rep, please give me water. And everybody knows that water is H2O, the one we drink, a colorless, odorless substance. See, that's the dictionary definition of water. And H2O is a technical one, theoretical definition. Okay, so I can ask for that. All of you know that the lecturer is drinking water. Before you know it, I'm drunk. Because between myself and the classroom, when I said water, I meant alcohol. That's the point. That's why you must know when to call for what type of definition, at what time. Okay. So on your screen, lexical definition, we'll just be reading. I've said everything there. I want to use the slides I've posted for you. I've picked slides from all of us so that you have a fair range. The content is the same, but the delivery and how we present it are different. So I took from different colleagues and put there. This is my colleague's slide, which is not different from what I want to read and make sure we have covered everything. That will be our reference point, okay? Let's take some time to read lexical definition. I want a very good reader. Who was reading for me earlier, please? You've done well. I think you have done well.
Me.
Who is the me?
Hello.
Hello.
Call Philemon.
And everybody needs, please. I want Anne to read for me. If Anne is not able to, I'll take Jonas Asamoah. Are you able to? Then I'll take Anne. When Anne finishes the slide she's reading, I'll move to the next slide. Then Jonas can take over. Can we have a very organized session? So I won't interrupt. After Jonas, then Benedicta. Is it okay? So Anne, go ahead. Start with yours. And you have a very good background.
This is simply the definition offered by a dictionary. This is the most common and simplistic source of information about the meaning of the word. Auntie, please, should I read?
I think that Jonas is not ready, so please read for me, okay?
I'm ready, madam, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Oh, Jonas, but I said if I change the slide, then you read. I waited that till
Sorry.
Okay, you my lady, thank you. Let's take Jonas here because before I'm accused of a gender imbalance. Go ahead, Jonas.
Like for real.
Ostensive definition. A definition that is provided by a demonstration in real life, not by using other words, is called an ostensive definition. Color words like blue or red are best defined by pointing to them. Similarly, words that describe actions are sometimes difficult to define using other words. Example, pounding fufu, bazaar, etc. This definition can be very limited since demonstrating it with one or two instances may not be enough to capture all of the various possible denotions of the word.
Very good. You read very well. Okay.
Thank
So
you.
we are looking at each one of them, and then we are looking at the challenge we can have with each. That is what we are seeing. So at least the key thing is ostensive definition points to or demonstrates. Okay. But we know that if you ask me what is color red, and I go and take my red shirt in the wardrobe and show my little child, this is color red. The child may go thinking that it is only mommy's shirt that is color red. There is no color red at any other place. So it limits you, but it is not wrong to teach someone who is now knowing it. You see how I'm managing some of the discussions, but the person is now being introduced to the content. So you have to teach from the known to the unknown. So you use what they know to show them. That's why we say A for apple or R for apple, B for banana. But B is not for only banana. B can be for a lot of things. But we start with the ones that the child can easily, or the child doesn't always refer to age. Sometimes someone who is new in the concept, you can't start teaching a child how to eat meat by giving them, or how to eat by giving them willy. You see, if you don't know willy well, willy is a very nice atmosphere. You don't teach that way. You have to teach from what they can chew, given their level. So you win the child. That's what stipulative definition and the other types of definitions we are engaging do. And so ostensive definition, you teach the child color blue by showing them maybe a blue pen on your table. So it is a bit limiting because all that the child knows is your pen or your shirt or the color of the sky. Even the sky's color can deceive you sometimes. You tell the child that the sky is blue. The next day the sky is ash. If you get an intelligent child like some of my own that I haven't, you come and ask my mommy, you said the sky, the color of the sky is blue. But is this blue? This is not blue. It is limiting. So remember the challenge you can have with ostensive. Okay, let me take someone else to read operational. Do you know why we are asking people to read? Right, your contact. You know why? Because when you are forgetting, you remember that thing. I remember that it was a brother that I read. It helps for you to remember. Okay,
I
let's
also
take
want to know.
Don't worry.
I want
Benedict,
to,
read.
Madam, please,
Please, it's Benedict's turn. Benedict.
Madam,
Please, madam, I have a question before you continue.
How many of you are called Benedicta? Hey, they are saying me. Bene, unmute now. I'll take all the questions. Let me finish with what I want you to know. Then I'll move up with another set of questions. Okay. Benedicta, please unmute. Bene, should we ask someone to read? Okay, thank you.
Where is Benedicta? Where is Benedicta?
She's reading.
Madam, please, I'll read.
So let Benedicta.
Please, madam, I have a question before you
Hey,
continue.
Hey, I'll exit you. I'll see you from the Let Benedicta read. Yes, he's reading. Be patient. You know, we are grooming you holistically. But there are people who know so much, but they don't speak in public. You see, but they have a lot that we can benefit from. So when I call the person, patiently wait. They will read. If it is getting too long, I'll call someone. Then please read for us. Then you read. When my time going okay. Let me take if you talk, I won't call you. But now you should know already. Dara, Cheneboa, Kunedu. Please read for me. Afterwards, Nathaniel,
Definition
thank you very much.
is to give a list of instructions, or to describe a sequence of steps or an operation or procedure which, when followed, will reveal or demonstrate how the word is used correctly. For
Very good.
example, if a foreigner asks me, "What is Gary soaking?" and your reply is, "Take a cup of Gary, add 2 tablespoons of sugar, add peanut, add milk, then stir the mixture until you have an even mix. Then finally add water while stirring."
Well done. Can read, Papa. We all saw what operational definition. I use fufu. My colleague uses Gary soakings. He says go and buy Gary, add sugar, do this. I'm showing you the steps that will take you to Gary soakings. That's operational definition. Obviously, you see what the challenge could be for that one. Okay. The theoretical definition. My lady, please read it again. Again, it's basic grammar. Go ahead and read for me.
These are meanings that come from theories that have been accepted in specific fields of scientific knowledge and from social studies or the humanities. The use of these definitions is based upon the theory achieving general acceptance. Example, water is H2O is a theoretical definition of water, acceptable in chemistry. Note before, some everyday words can have different definitions under different topics.
Well done. Hey, my sister, you read well, Papa. Well done. That means everybody who reads well. You didn't want Benedicta to read. I don't understand. Look at how she was reading. Okay. So you now can see where the example water is H2O, the emphasis on academic discipline accepted. You see, that is different from, so the theoretical definition is different from stipulative definition. Stipulative may not necessarily be academic. Okay, may not be generally accepted in a theoretical field, but we use it. We here referring to those who use that. Okay, all right. Is there a question? Let me take Nathaniel. We have 30 minutes or so before we go, at 25 or so. Let's take Nathaniel Akogo. Nathaniel, please read stipulative definition for me. Please unmute first. Oh dear, quick power. Nathaniel, read, okay?
Hello, madam.
Yes, please.
Madam.
Now, I asked Nathaniel to
get
read.
the slides. I'm asking a question.
Please, I want Nathaniel to read. I'll take all the questions. There are 21 hands up. I suspect they are all questions. Okay, don't worry, I'll take all. If it's slides, how you assess them, they are in your resource too on Sakai. Okay. Let's take Nathaniel. Nathaniel, are you there? Pius. Pate, do you want to read for us? I called you earlier. I think we're not able to.
Madam, please,
Pius Pate. Pius Pate, please, do you want to read for us? Matilda Safua. Matilda.
Yes.
All those who are not reading, it means you are not present. Oh. That's what it means. You don't know. Matilda, please go ahead. Matilda Safua. Let me take Matilda Safua, please. That's our way of checking if people attended the lecture or they just signed up and went to sleep. Matilda Safua, please read for me. Just unmute and read quickly. Yes. Okay, let me take Matilda, it's okay. Thank you. Let's take someone who has a very good background. If you are confident of that, that's what I don't want to do. That
I do, madam.
Go ahead. Who said I do? The brother has okay. Who said that? Please let the brother read, I beg you. He has been asking, I don't mind him. Is it Grace? Please wait. Let's take the gentleman. Go ahead.
Stipulative definitions. These are definitions that
I want
have
to
been
know
agreed
who. I'm
upon
putting marks down for you.
certain
Who is
context
reading
in
now?
subject matter.
Hold on. Who
To
is reading?
serve me, madam. Don't worry.
But I won't know who me is. Mention your name, sir, please. Okay.
Stipulative definition.
Your name.
These are definitions that are
Please, I want to know who is reading. Unmute now and tell me. And then you continue reading. Okay. The gentleman, go ahead. Is it Clement?
Yes, madam.
Clement, are you
Stipulative
the one
definition.
reading?
Yes, please.
Okay,
Hello?
go ahead. Clement, go ahead. It's Clement, okay? Go ahead.
Yes. Stipulative definition. These are definitions that have been agreed upon within a certain context or subject matter to serve a practical purpose. For instance, the purpose for, for instance, for the purpose of debate or analysis or policy making, it can be useful to establish explicitly that you agree upon a specific definition for the course of the exercise, debate, discussion, or essay. These
Very
are
good.
important open texture. I can see that one.
Words such as, continue.
I can't see the other ones. Please.
Oh, I can see. These are important for open texture words.
For open
such
texture
as,
words such as development, justice, and beauty.
well done. Well done. Keep your thing on because you read till the end of the session. Okay. So I was saying that
Madam,
if we
this is not fair.
stipulate, please, if we stipulate, okay, the one who said this is not fair, you read next, okay? This is
Okay.
not fair. Banana, aha, there we go.
This
We
is
see the
not fair.
problem.
This is not fair.
Please keep quiet. I will take your question shortly. No, you read. The one who is saying this is not fair, this is not fair. When another teacher will say this is not fair, this is not fair.
Yes.
Then we'll have the rest of the session will be this is not fair, this is not fair. So we finish.
We have to do
Okay. Everybody listen. Now listen.
in the
Madam, it's fair.
Okay.
Do what you are doing.
Okay, don't worry. Let's continue. I want a very good background to help most of you. Okay.
Madam, yes. Hello.
All right.
What do you call it? My room.
Madam, I have a good background.
Yes, don't worry.
Madam, let me
We'll all
read.
listen. If you don't let me talk, we are not moving on. Me, then my questions are set.
I think I have the best
The
background.
reason why
Madam, I have a good background.
you've done very well. Some of you have been quiet for a while now. You will not get your phone. Okay, let's move on.
I
Let's
have a
go back.
good background. I can read it.
Madam, I've been quiet.
When I mute, then you
Madam,
mute. Please be quiet and let's go. Okay. All right. Now let's continue. So I was saying that stipulative definition is what your friend read. It is not oftentimes for theory-based, okay, settings. No, it's not for institutionalized settings. So I want you to get that because that one is stipulative definition may confuse some of you. Stipulative definition is for the purpose, for the practical purposes that we are using it for. When we finish, we are done. Okay, so that's why I give you home to and stuff like that. Charge. If Banda say they are going to charge, and you are thinking of how we use the word charge every day in our everyday usage of the word, that will not be helpful. Okay, what's the issue, sir?
Yeah, madam. So it's more or less like an informal way of using words.
That's a question. I want to take all the questions because there are hands up. It will not be fair to those whose hands have been up. Okay.
Madam,
If
this
it's
I'm reading the
informal
idea
ways of using words, we'll have 1,001.
Madam, this I'm
insights.
reading.
Okay.
Madam,
So
can I
ideal
read this,
definition.
please?
Please, the
Madam,
one
this I'm reading.
we'll close at 2. You let's finish.
No one said this is not fair. It's
It
me.
looks like this group may be ahead. That's why I'm taking time. You see, I'm taking a lot of time.
Okay.
So maybe ahead. Others will do that.
Okay. Madam, may I read?
For no rush, but let's not waste our time too much. Okay.
Okay.
Madam,
Madam, my
please
name is Said.
read it. Go ahead.
Madam,
Go ahead.
please, I have a good background.
Said.
Oh, my lady.
Said is
Bear
reading.
with me, okay? The brothers won't understand.
Please,
Let
we'll
me
be
take
closing at 2. Madam, let me read the last
Madam,
one.
It's fine. Let's have the gentleman who says, Madam, please let me read. Read it. I'll take the question. Go ahead. Ideal definition. Read, sir.
Ideal definition.
Yes, it's fine.
These are definitions that capture the real or essential meaning of the word. Hence, it's also known as real definition. ideal definition, or essential definition?
There's a fourth name for it. It's called eliminative definition. You write it down. To eliminate. It means you can take the definition out and put in the definitions. The meaning won't change. Remember, substitution by elimination. Okay. So it's called real definition. It is doing what definition should really do. Okay. Ideal. Ideal. When you're looking for ideal guys, I tell ladies, they are not on earth. They died years ago. Moses, Abraham, ideal. Yeah. So
Madam,
they are
I'm
not
one.
common. You matter. They are not common. Then there is essential definition. It captures the essence of the word, what the word's real meaning is, essentially speaking. If you have done some philosophy, you understand essentialism. Okay. So whether you want to call it real definition, ideal definition, essential definition, or what I've just added, eliminative definition. Those who have the textbook, we've seen that there. That's the type of definition we label this way. I already told you that they are not common, like the men that we call ideal guys. They are not common. The ones on earth have a lot of problems with them. And God helps us. Okay, so
Hello, madam.
ideal, real, essential. I've asked you questions, so if you will listen, it will help you. Ideal definition, real definition, essential definition, etc. Okay. Boss, read the second one. Philosophers are not.
Philosophers are noted for seeking the real meaning of concepts in a process called abstraction.
Very good. Keep going.
Ideal definitions are difficult to attain or may not even be attained at times, but it is a helpful exercise if we are, for instance, debating whether the judges in the election petition were fair or not.
Yeah, so we can engage the concept of what? Fairness, justice. We'll be looking for the real meaning of fairness, such that wherever I see the definition of fairness as defined, I can replace it with what? The definition. So you see that when we get to ideal definition, then we launch into what is on your screen. Look on your screen now. We say ideal definitions are, somebody's background is not helping us at all. They won't shut it down. It's better now. Okay. So see, ideal definitions are, however, achievable for words that are what? Well defined. So if the word is not well defined, we cannot have an ideal definition for it. So that brings us another concept that we must understand. And you see that we are lifting the level of difficulty slow but steadily. We are moving up. When we started interrogative, imperative, these are children's topic. But you see that now we have entered into the frame of what? Definition, the types, they all have weaknesses until we got to ideal definition or real definition, eliminative definition. And then when we got there, we are being introduced to the concept of what? Well-definedness. Why? Because for us to understand ideal definition, we have to know concepts that are well-defined. Why? Because it is such concepts that are well-defined which can have ideal definition, which can have a real definition. So you see that immediately we tell you that this type of ideal definition is also called an eliminative definition. Have you seen it? If it's an ideal definition, if you define the word, the definiendum and the definitions can change places all the time. The meaning won't change. How you define bachelor, how you define a chair, you will see them in the slides I'll share later on my groups. A chair can be the furniture we sit on. It can also be the head of an institution, the chair of electoral commission. It's not the thing we sit on at the electoral commission. Take note. You see. So the word chair can have different meanings. And because its meanings can change, if you want to use just one of the meanings to represent the word chair, wherever you use it, you have a problem. So the definition of the word, a chair is a furniture we sit on. It's not an ideal one. Why? Because the concept of a chair is not well defined. The word chair is not well defined. But when we go to mathematics and other deductive studies like physics, some aspect of physics, not all of them, like logic, what we are doing now. When we do unit 6, we'll be doing logic proper. Here we are reading around the critical thinking and all that. Unit 6 and 7, I think, engage the logic of the use of language. When we are doing deductive logic, we'll be dealing with what? A well-defined concept. That simply means Those concepts lend themselves to what? Ideal definitions. So concepts that you see in mathematics, like an even number, it's a whole number that is divisible by 2. Okay? It's a real definition. Even the second one on my screen, I wouldn't want us to use that. We'll talk about it later. A sister is a female sibling. A sister could also be, so it's not one that you can change, it's not one that can have well-defined nature. Why? Because the sister, Roman sister, when I say a sister visited yesterday, I could mean my sister visited yesterday. I could also mean what? A Roman sister visited yesterday. So the word sister could have different meanings. It can be a biological sibling. It can also be what? Offended. The one that serves in the Catholic Church, the lady that will say, I will not marry, I want to be a nun or something. Okay, so when you see a sister is a female sibling, that is not well defined. So we have to edit that out. Okay. Anyway, so where did we get to? We have seen the parts of a definition. We've seen the types of a definition. And we are now going quickly, because of the time, I will not even start. But take note that if a term is well defined, remember, well definedness is a quality that an ideal definition must have. Ideal definition is possible only for concepts that have the character of being well defined. Okay, so what does it mean to say that a term or a word is well defined? Well defined terms are terms or words that can be given an ideal or essential definition. Do you see the circularity there? So we haven't given you explanation yet, but how would we define? If a word is well defined, it means where you find the definition, you can put the definitions there. How is that possible? Because the word makes clear. When you define it, it makes clear what its definition, the specific references that the word is pointing to is clear. There's no ambiguity in that. I told you if I say a bachelor is an unmarried adult male, the word bachelor can mean several other things. Take note. So I can be calling Kofi, Kwame, Kojo, who are all unmarried adult male. Before long, I'll be calling degrees in economics, degrees in, because they are also called bachelors. Bachelor's degree is, I say bachelor. Bachelor's could mean unmarried man. It could also mean what? And a degree you earned in the university. It could also mean a type of flower. So this definition of but this word bachelor doesn't point you to only one particular set of things. It is not well defined. That's what it means. Okay. Almost all the words in mathematics are well defined. Okay. But it is difficult to get well defined terms in humanities, social studies, etc. Why? Because our concepts are intentionally open textured. We'll engage that in some detail after we have made sure that the basics are good for you. Okay. Justice, family. For some people, their dogs are more of a family to them than even the house girl who's a human being. Because of how they think of family. We speak at church, my brothers and sisters. But the person you are calling my brother and sister is your grandmother. But in church, we say, beloved, my brothers and sisters in the Lord. Because brotherhood and sisterhood can have different meanings for different people. Family could mean different things for different people. Justice could mean different things for democracy. Something democracy means talk some, make I talk some. Others think democracy means exchange of words, and so on and so forth. Everybody's practicing what they consider to be democracy. Property owning democracy, social democrat, go to America, go to Southern Africa, etc. Why? Because of the nature of the concept democracy. It is what? Open textured. So we'll look at what we mean by well-defined, open textured, and then build on from there to show ambiguity and the others in topic 3. Where we have reached right now is half of topic 2. And I'm saying that we may be ahead of the other. We don't want to go too much ahead, but we don't also want to trail. So we are going systematically. We have done our topic 1. We have looked at topic 2. What did we emphasize? The parts of a definition, the types with examples, the problems we can have with each, and then we build on that to get to well-definedness and open texturedness, which we will emphasize a bit more when we meet again. Any questions? Now take the questions. If your own is not a question, respectfully put your hand up, okay? If it is not a question, you have put it down so that I can know those who have questions. Because I see some hands up. I know maybe you wanted to read or it was a quick reaction or something like that. It's fine. Thank you very much. You are very cooperative. Eh? I see hands going down. Let them all go down so that I'll see the genuine questions and address them. Okay. All right. So whilst some are dropping their hands, I still see 20. It was 34. Now I see 19 hands up. That's very, very good. Very good, meaning that people are cooperating. But I still think it's a big number. If you don't genuinely have a question, please put your hand up, okay? So that I'll see those who have a question and address them. Chenebo Avera, please ask your question quickly. After that, Margaret Fosa should be on standby. Okay, so Cheneboa is not ready. Margaret Fosa, please ask your question. Cheneboa,
Okay,
Vera, are you
doctor,
ready?
please, can you?
Who is speaking now? Is it Margaret Fosa? Is it Margaret Fosa?
Please, actually, we are together, so
That's fine.
I'm
Ask your
asking for
question, no
two.
problem. Ask. Yeah, I
Okay,
want to
please.
address it.
We hardly heard you defining the operational definition and the
They are in the slides. Did you see anything in the
theoretical
slide?
definition.
What
We
did the
heard
slides say?
breakage in your voice, so we couldn't hear.
What did the slides say? Did you see the slides?
You and who?
Yes,
Please,
please.
let's hear me. Okay, so what is on the slides is just what I repeated. Okay, I just repeated it. I want to reproject it on the screen. Okay, I've said that there's an example down there. That one will work it out. I think I'll engage that. So don't worry. Where is it? Operational definition. And my lady, that is it on your screen. Okay.
Yes.
So you can munch on it whilst I take other questions. All right. Thank you. Let's take
Okay, please. Thank you.
Millicent. Is it Millicent in Toniwa? Millicent, ask your question. After that, Safwa Matilda, be on standby. Then Jonathan. Millicent, you are muted. Oh. So if you are talking there, you have to unmute before, okay? Okay, let's take Safwa Matilda if it's a question. If Matilda is not ready, let me take John Arthur. We'll finish right now. Everyone be patient. Eh?
Okay.
Safwa Matilda, you are muted. Are you asking your question or you are sorted? So I take John Arthur. Okay, John, go ahead.
Madam, I didn't understand stipulative definition.
Can you see it on the screen now? There it is. I'll put it there for you to see. Okay, so that is stipulative definition. The recording too is ongoing. You can bring it, and it's the same thing in your slides. It's not anything new, okay? So you can look at it. We'll send you the report. Rita Nana Epiafo. Thank you, John. Rita, ask your question quickly if you are there. Gideon, be on standby whilst Rita asks her question. Rita, I'm waiting for your question, please. Okay, let's take Evans or Henny.
Okay, so I want to ask about the difference
ask the
between the
question.
operational definition. Yeah, the operational definition and the theoretical definition, or let's say the
Operational
ostensive
gives you
one.
the steps. Operational, you are just asking me to say everything again. Say, operational gives you the steps.
No.
Okay, operational gives. Listen. Operational gives you. Operational gives you the steps to take you to the unknown world. Okay.
Okay.
Theoretical gives you a definition that you have to know the discipline. Like water is H2O. That's what we use. Very easy for you to get. Okay. If you see H2O, if you don't know chemistry, you won't see what all those things stands for. One is a hydrogen, 2 molecules of hydrogen, I'm told. One molecule of oxygen at room temperature. That the temperature shouldn't be too cold and shouldn't be too hot. All this is chemistry, whole chemistry you must know. before you can
Yeah.
understand that definition. Okay, that's the theoretical one. Then the third one you ask is ostensive, point to. So you give meaning by pointing to the thing or demonstrating it. Yeah.
Okay. So let's say if you are mixing Gary or something, and
It
you are
depends.
supposed to give the person the steps. Let's say you are giving the person the steps for making the Gary, but in the process you are showing the person the Gary and the sugar.
So you are blending two.
Where do you...
You're not doing one thing. What makes it
Okay.
operational will be that you are giving the person the steps to follow. What will make it ostensive is you are doing it alongside. So if I ask you to give a definition or types of definitions that will make a better meaning to say plastic surgeons who are now practicing or learning how to do plastic surgery, we may say that you should have some operational definitions here. Then you should blend that with ostensive plus a backing of theoretical. That way, the people see you doing it, they know how to do it themselves from what you have taught them, and they can see pictures of it. That's a more effective way of doing it. So I think that's your question. You can blend,
Yeah.
Very good. That will help.
Thank you very much.
You are welcome, Evans. I think that's very helpful. Let's take Gideon. Gideon, do you have a question asked? With the music area, but I'll address it. Gideon, your hand is up. I don't want to skip you. Okay. I want to take
Gideon.
Clement. No, Clement, you have spoken today. Let's take someone else, okay? The time is not enough. So if there's... I know. Tariq Inusa, you have spoken.
I haven't spoken.
Oh dear. Tariq Inusa Abdurazak.
You haven't spoken.
Tariq, please ask your question, okay, if you have one.
Madam, I haven't spoken.
Tariq, you will just unmute and then you ask your question, okay, if you are still there. Okay, so unmute now. Tariq.
I see it as
You can hear me.
for like some time.
Go ahead, Tariq.
You know, I'm
Yes, it's about the theoretical and the speculative. I wanted to know whether some theoretical definitions can also be speculative definitions. Whether
yes, it
something
can.
like that can happen.
Yes, it can. I think that it's more one definition there like this could be lexical. It could just same old story you have begun with. I want you to go with that. Sometimes it's white, sometimes it's black, sometimes that definition is gray, it's a blend. So sometimes the theoretical definition, what has been accepted in a theory, that is captured and put into the dictionary, for example. Okay. Sometimes to the like when a certain definition goes into the Guinness Book of Records, it will be something that is accepted stipulatively, that has gained recognition, like the Doomsort. I don't know if it's true. People say it's in the Guinness Book of Dictionary. Doomsort is like perhaps an Akan or Ghanaian language, a Ghanaian phenomenon, but it can gain some worldwide acceptance that we will capture it into the dictionary. So one definition, simply put, one definition could be capturing a theoretical definition and yet put into the lexicon, for example, to become a lexical definition. Okay, so what we are teaching is not so much whether it is this type of definition or that type, whether it's fact or values, but why it is so. Because if you are able to tell us why you call it a lexical definition, then we have hit the mark. You tell us that we can find this in the dictionary, then it makes it a lexical definition. We are at peace. You tell us that the reason why you will call this a theoretical definition is because it is backed by an academic discipline of a kind. That's the concept we are teaching you, not so much whether this one is lexical or stipulative, because it could be both, or it could be found somewhere as a result of the acceptance it has gotten. Okay, that is also a very important intervention. Thank you so much. Let's take, see how the class is right now. Some people's microphones have been disabled. That's why they have stopped shouting plenty. Osha Christopher, disabled means you can't unmute it. You are trying to unmute it, it's not unmuted. Tofik Christopher, Osha, please ask your question.
Okay, madam.
Yeah.
Please, can we blend the lexical, operational, and the theoretical? Because we have scientific
Yes, at once.
dictionary.
Yes, you can. You can be looking, you can be defining something based on what is in the dictionary, demonstrating it, which is ostensive, and then at the same time giving instructions that should. You can be doing all at once.
Okay, so if at that instance you tell us maybe in a test to actually put it under either
Your test,
lexical
any question, yes, any question that you will be asked by experts, people who know what they are asking. You don't know. So the questions will not be ambiguous.
Okay.
They will have an answer.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Don't worry about how the questions will be asked. I think you should worry about how you answer it. So if you and if
okay,
yes, don't worry about it. Okay, I'm happy that you take that. So now I'll take Enoch. Enoch's question. Enoch, you added your ID, so I've tried to skip you several times.
I finished.
Are you answered? Enoch, is your question answered?
Hey.
All right, thank you very much. Let me see. Okay, we still have more than 300 people on site, but the hands that are up there, we have 9 left, so I think we can mop up. Adnan, see that I'm not going. Let me take Maxwell Soa first. Then if I clear him, then I can come to Juan.
Hey, I'm going to lecture.
Okay, madam. Please, I didn't get understanding when you were explaining the ostensive definition.
Please, let me listen to Soa first, okay? Because Soa hasn't spoken at all. That was our mop.
Madam.
Go ahead. Yes.
Please, I didn't get a definition when you were explaining the ostensive definition.
Ostensive points to. So when you point to something to give someone the meaning, that's ostensive definition.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you.
So if the person doesn't know the meaning of something, so you don't know chair, this is a chair, you point to a chair, you are giving him the meaning of chair by pointing to or demonstrating it, doing it to show the person.
Okay. I don't get it. Thank you.
Yeah, you are welcome. Let's take Princess Judith.
Yes, madam.
Ask your question.
About definition and factual statements.
Yes.
When we came for the
question. Yeah, go ahead. Ask your question. Go ahead.
The factual statement. So can I categorize like the consistency between a definition and a factual statement? A factual statement has objective truth. So, like, can I make the difference? Like, if I say about something like the man sitting at tree is my sister's husband, or
The
is my
man
brother
sitting
in
under tree so is a factual statement because you are not giving me the meaning of how to use man or something else. You see, you're not showing me how to use man. If you are showing me how to use the word, then you are defining it. So if I say a sister is a female sibling, I'm trying to give you the meaning of sister, how you should use the word sister. That is what I am doing. If I say a sister is a female sibling, but if I say a sister is coming from upstairs, I'm using the word sister. I'm not showing you how to use it. I'm using it. But when I'm using it, I'm stating a fact about it. The fact can be true or false. And when I'm showing you how to use it, then I'm defining it. Okay. All right. We have 7 to go. Hey, they are 7. If you mute, the people will mute. If you mute everyone, how would they ask their questions? Okay. I've muted everyone. I just addressed Princess Judith's question. So I want to take Agbolosu, Annie. Okay, Annie, unmute and ask. We have 6 to go. I think I can spare some 5 minutes. Go ahead, Annie. Annie, go ahead. Please call me Shock, I beg you. The auntie Lydia, people will say you are my relative and I'm giving you grades. I beg you. I've not done that.
Okay.
So just address me by my office. It's fine. Don't worry. Go ahead.
Okay. Please, I want to be clear on the stipulative definition. Is it like using the definition that will suit the kind of environment you are? As in, like when you said the infantile girls, they use osmo for menstruation. So
hey, did I say menstruation? I'm giving us away, auntie. I didn't tell anyone. I just used it, but you got it right. Yeah.
Yes.
So for example, at Commonwealth Hall, if they say they are going to charge, the word charge has a meaning. generally speaking, which we put in the dictionary, the lexical one. That is not what they mean when they say they are going to charge.
Okay.
They're going to charge means they're going to demonstrate or something. See? So if you are standing there, you hear charge, and you are not in Commonwealth Hall, or you are not on the Legon campus as you are not connected to Legon campus in a certain way, you won't understand. So what it means is it is for those who use the word only. Just like the example I gave, I could come to class and tell you, Annie, you are my class rep, for example. That I say, when I come and I say, give me chalk or give me marker, I mean, go and buy me kebab, barbecue. So the class people will hear marker and they think that the lecturer is still concentrating on the lecture. But Annie knows that the woman is hungry. It is for members. It can be what you and I have agreed on or what a collective, but it's not official. So it's not like the theoretical one where you will say the man's own amicus curiae. If you are not a legal luminary or you are not connected to law, or maybe you are not a lawyer, but your brother or you work there or something, so you know what they mean. It's for members. Amicus curiae is not talking about anything that you and I understand. The legal folks can explain that. Okay, so that's what we mean.
Thank you.
I hope that you are welcome, Annie. All right, let's take Christabel Aboli. Then I think 2 more and I can go. Hey, you people, you paid for 2 hours. Go ahead, Christabel.
Auntie, please, I want you to emphasize the ideal definition.
The what?
Ideal definition.
Yes, ideal means whatever the definiendum is asking for or is saying will represent the definitions wherever you use it. That's why it's not common.
Okay.
If I say even number, if I say an even number is a number that divides 2 equally without a remainder, wherever you use even number in mathematics, it means what I've said.
Okay.
Yes, so you can interchange, they can eliminate their position. It won't change. But if I say a bachelor is an unmarried adult, or like the one that I say you shouldn't add to what you in the a sister is a female. A sister could be the woman in the Catholic Church who has decided not to marry or doing it. She's also called a sister. So if I say a sister came to visit, it could mean a Roman sister came to visit, or my mother's daughter, who is my biological sibling, came to visit. Both are correct. So I can use the word a sister, which will mean something different from how I've defined it now. Then it means not an ideal definition. Ideal definition is a real one. It should capture what the definitions and the definition are saying. They should interchange. What's the expression? They should mean the same wherever you use it. That's why it's called eliminating. Okay. All right. So read a little bit more on it and let's see how it goes. Okay. Thank you. I have 2 more to go. You are welcome. Welbeck, I'm not calling because I think you have spoken enough for the day. You can send me a personal email. Okay. I just spoke with Christabel. Favor to spoke today. Ebenezer, Teteji. I think I'll take you last and then we'll be done. The ID folk, I told you I don't want to mention ID. It's not safe for you. Ebenezer, go ahead. Ebenezer, unmute and go ahead, please. Okay, if Ebenezer is not there, yes, go ahead, sir. Ebenezer, Teteji, please ask your question.
Madam, please, I have no question.
Okay, very good.
Hello.
Yes, it's fine. I still see 7 hands up. I can't take all, but I want to make sure I didn't brush someone aside. So if you have a question that is present, unmute and ask, please.
Okay, I want to ask a question.
Ask it.
Ask it. I didn't get the lexical definition.
Yes, look at it again. Okay, the lexical. Which one did you get? Lexical. Hey, Auntie, if you didn't get lexical, then you. Lexical, see. Lexical. Everybody should give me just one word that explains lexical. Unmute and answer.
Dictionary.
Very good. My lady, so that's a
The dictionary
signal.
meaning.
All right. Thank you all. I still see some, I think 3 or 4 hands. Those who are IDs,
Leipzig.
those that are IDs, I'm not calling you. But those that are not IDs and are new, I see 3 others. I think that you have spoken. If there's still a concern, send me an email. I'll respond to them.
Please, I have a question.
I know you will have a question, but there's another class waiting for me. They won't understand I gave all my time to them. I've given about 15 minutes.
Send Madam email.
Send me an email. I'll respond to all of them. Okay. Thank you so much. I'll pull this down and then share with you.
Okay.
Now your duty is to read what is left there, topic 2, and start reading topic 3. And then when we meet, God willing,
Madam.
same time, I will engage
Madam.
you all. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. All the best.
Bye-bye.
Have a wonderful.
You're welcome,
Madam.
madam.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye bye bye.